Good morning, folks. And speaking of big stars, look at this one here. You know, with the sunglasses on, the rock star glasses, ready, let's party on her shirt. You know she's in the mood. But again, this time of year, a lot of people, dealing with illnesses. We've been talking about that around here. If you come down with the flu, it helps to jump into bed, get a bunch of rest. You have a cold, well, chicken soup really does help. You know, a lot of people don't know why in some cases, but it does help and shorten the duration. But New Year's Eve, just a couple of days away, and a lot of people might be worried about the morning
brown bottle
the
flu.
Night before.
Yep.
Exactly. The other kind of flu.
The other kind of flu.
Exactly.
The brown bottle
We
version.
don't want any of that, so let's chat.
Okay. Can we chat? Okay.
Let's talk. Well, you know that I'm a health coach, nutritionist. I'm into holistic and healthy living. So I would be remiss if I didn't say the first thing, the best way to prevent a hangover is just don't partake.
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way. Now I'm in the real world.
Welcome back to reality.
Yeah, Sheree Clark with Fork in the Road has a couple of forks in there. One goes this way, just don't do this. But if you do, and this is where you come in.
Exactly. So what we're going to do, James, is we're going to start with you. We're
Okay.
going to talk about what do you do after the fact, and we're going to kind of move backwards. So most people are concerned about the ailments, the physical symptoms that you have after overconsumption. So I'm going to talk I've got a few remedies for you.
Okay.
On your far right, the coconut water. That is the big thing.
You are big into coconut water,
I am
aren't
so
you?
big
Yeah.
into coconut.
Yeah.
I'm always bringing different brands. I love this one. And you can see it says right on the package, Nature's Hydration. That is really good. It replaces your electrolytes. It gets some fluids into you. The reason that you feel like hell is that because you're dehydrated. Your brain fluids are gone. Your muscles ache. You feel like heck. You've got a carpet in your mouth. That's going to help. Way better than Gatorade.
Oh, really?
Way better than
Yes.
Gatorade has so many chemicals, preservatives. It's like it's not colors found in nature. So you're putting more toxins into your liver when you're doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So stay
I never
natural.
thought about that.
Stay with the coconut water. That would be one thing.
My wife and I drink this a lot, and it really is good.
And what's
Good
the
stuff.
price point on coconut water in general? Because I've never bought it, to be honest with you.
That one is an expensive one. That one's going to cost you about $6 for that container. A lot less than a martini
Yeah.
at the end of the day because you get more fluid. And you can get other more economy-based brands. The big thing is read the label. I prefer the kinds that are not made from concentrate. By far the cheapest way of doing it, you've seen me do this, bring a coconut in, hack that baby open and drink that fresh water. Oh, it's so good. And you can buy a coconut at the Asian market for under $2.
Oh, see, that's the way to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Much
Okay.
fresher. And you've got the coconut meat. That's a delicious thing to go ahead and eat. Other ways of hydrating, there's a bottle in front of you. It's a white one, and it says Light Show. And
Light Show spelled a little differently too, L-Y-T-E.
Exactly. That is something you just add a few drops of that to water, and that will help you rehydrate also. Again, electrolytes. And
Kind of a
those-
Oh,
concentrated
that's the light.
electrolyte.
Okay, electrolyte.
Electrolyte.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of a taste to it, not much. It's real palatable. If you don't like the taste, add some lemon juice and that sort of
Okay.
thing. So what we're doing is replacing minerals and the things that have been depleted by the alcohol.
And it says just use mix 3 milliliters per 32 ounces of water.
And 3 milliliters is a little eensy weens, and 32 ounces is a quart. So yeah.
Doesn't take much.
Way in front of the coconut water, there's a packet. That's a vitamin C packet. That's another thing you can add to your water. Vitamin C is another one of those things that's depleted. It helps you feel a little bit better.
Now, would this be like the emergency type things that people might have in their cabinets?
Very much like that.
Okay.
Vitamin C, and that one's got electrolytes in it as well. Activated charcoal. Love that stuff.
Yeah, I use it in my fish tank. Yeah.
There you go. Well, your fish are never going to
your
get
fish get hungover.
Yeah.
If you dump some vodka in there, they'll be recovered. The activated charcoal will help absorb the toxins so that then when you eliminate, you're going to be flushing those out with you.
So is it a pill then, or a
Those
tablet?
are capsules.
Capsules, okay.
Remember to follow the directions. Remember to drink plenty of fluids. You don't just take those and then go back to bed. You've got to rehydrate with those. That other packet, love this. One of the other ways we're going to get rid of those toxins is to sweat them out. That is a mustard bath. Put that in your bathtub, seriously.
Seriously?
Yes, it's mustard powder.
This is new.
You put that in your tub, you soak in some hot water, then you come out, you towel off, and you'll be sweating. And another way of doing it would be to take a sauna. You could even do both. And what's happening is then you're releasing, again, those toxins through the skin, which is the biggest organ.
Right.
So that's a helpful thing. Then you'll notice there's a glass in front of you. I made one of these for each of you. That is not hair of the dog. In spite of the fact it's separating, it looks like there's vodka in the bottom.
So
That is no-
what's the separation there?
It's separation because that is a fresh V8, we'll call it V8 juice. I don't believe in the V8 juice in the can. If you read it, it's got a ton of sodium.
I was going to say mainly because of the salt? Or,
Yes,
or
and the preservatives, and the fact that it's not things found in nature. A lot of times, all of the, if you read what those
I thought it's 8 different vegetables that are in there.
Well, it might be.
I could have had a V8.
Yeah. Well, that one, to give that a taste, that is a Virgin Mary that I made for you. Don't do hair of the dog. Hair of the dog, let me tell you something. People think hair of the dog is a great idea. What it is it just is a delayed reaction. You are not fixing anything with hair of the dog. You're just delaying the inevitable. So let's just don't go there.
Bringing the buzz back
Exactly.
before the
Eventually-
hangover.
All right, so
comes
what did
back
you
again.
put in here then?
Okay, so that really is fresh vegetables. That has actual tomato juice in it. I think you're going to like it. It's got a little bit
I
of
think it
kick
tastes
to
good.
It's got, and it's
That is
got
good.
red bell pepper. I put in some celery, some cucumber, a little bit of zucchini, romaine lettuce, and garlic.
That is really good.
Isn't that delicious?
I love the garlic kick to it
Yeah,
too. But
I
you put
did-
lettuce in here?
I put lettuce in there.
And
here's-
just grind it up?
Here, I just ran it through my juicer. Here's why. I'm replacing the nutrition that you've depleted by that alcohol. It's taking away all of the things that you need in your body to be healthy. So we're putting those back. V8 doesn't have all that. Again, if the V8's got an expiration date of 4 years from now. This will not be good in 4 hours.
I get a hint of like an Asian taste to it. Would there be something in there that would remind me of like a
What did you
stir
have for
fry
dinner
or
last
something?
night?
Probably the garlic or something.
Could be the garlic.
garlic?
Or
Absolutely.
the celery, hint of the celery in there
Yep,
too? No, I
exactly.
drink the whole thing.
Okay, so that's what you do when you've already been bit, okay? So now let's talk a little bit about what you can do during. So I'm going to talk about during when you're having your cocktails. Okay, so the smartest thing that you can do is be mindful about what it is that you consume. So one of the things that I like to do is suggest lower alcohol consumption. So, and that might mean drinking
Volume?
less.
You mean volume?
It could mean volume, but it could also mean less alcohol by volume. Right, so drink less quantity, drink less alcohol by volume. This is one of my favorite low alcohol wines. It's Stella Rosa. James, you're the new guy. I'm going to pass that on over to you and let you take a swig of that. Tell me what you think.
Stella Rosa.
Stella Rosa.
And you're kind of a wine kind of a sour.
Smells very sweet.
It's got a sweet taste to it, so it's more like a Lambrusco with
Carbonated.
carbonated, like a prosecco. I personally like it. I think it's nice. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to drink a whole ton of those, and that's one good thing.
That's true. When you have something like that that's sweeter, like that carbonated, you find yourself maybe drinking it slower, sipping it more, and then not consuming quite as much alcohol.
Not pounding
over
it.
time.
That would be a good plan.
Now, did they come in those little bottles like that always? I mean, 'cause
No, you can get big bottles
ones
of it
too?
as well.
Okay.
But one of the reasons that I like the little bottles is that it helps you manage and be mindful of what it is. that you're
portion
drinking.
control.
Exactly. Yeah, you can say exactly how many you've had. Where if somebody keeps topping off your glass, that's not so much the case.
Right.
Okay. If you are a spirits drinker, my favorite spirit to suggest would be vodka or the clear liquors. You're going to have less of a problem with those. You might have heard that. The darker colored alcohols tend to have a little bit more of a bad after effect. I also like to go with the cleaner. This is an organic vodka. This is actually made in the Midwest. It's made in Minnesota. So Prairie Vodka is a nice brand. The reason I have it is I make vanilla out of it. So that's why I've got this big full bottle. I'm going to be making some vanilla this weekend. You know, I'm always making
And
that.
we have some Iowa brands too, of
Yes.
vodka that are made right here
We
too, out of
do.
corn.
Yes,
So,
yep. Swell Vodka is one
exactly.
example of that. Yep, and that's a friend of mine owns that company.
Yes, he does.
Another thing to do. This is PartySmart. And PartySmart is an herbal remedy, and that's something that you take when you begin to start drinking your alcohol. Some people also take it when they're close to the end before they go to bed. I can't speak with authority about whether or not it works. I've had people tell me that it does, so give that a try. It's not very expensive. It's about $2. Natural food stores would carry that. This one, good luck pronouncing it. But it's what I do is I refer to it as DHM. I wrote that on the bottom. DHM. It's made from Asian Raisin Trees. And this one's got a really good reputation. Again, I can't speak to its efficacy, but rumor has it you take it before you go to bed and it will help manage that feeling afterwards. And then, of course, I would be remiss to not mention that while you're drinking, you need to drink plenty of this as well. That will help you. Now, those are while you're drinking, that's after. Let's talk about the wind up. Let's talk about what you do in between. Lou, one of the most important things you can do is take care of your liver. So we have milk thistle here.
And you heard about milk thistle for years.
Yes, it's an herb that helps protect the liver. It's a plant, and it's really, really good for that use. Whether you drink alcohol or don't drink alcohol, you're exposed to things that are toxic to the liver, so it's a good idea to be mindful of that and to take care of that.
And you can get them obviously at the natural food stores.
Yep.
You can get them at the big box stores as well. They have gel caps and things like that of milk thistle, and it really does help.
It does. There's also tinctures. Usually the tincture is tinctured in alcohol. So if you're avoiding alcohol, read the label, find out what it's made from. So
I'd stick with that.
I would too. Okay, then we've also got some B complex. For drinkers, most drinkers realize that their B vitamins are depleted during the exercise of drinking alcohol. So be mindful of that.
The exercise
Of drinking alcohol.
It is.
So be mindful to keep that up. And then also, before we drink, let's think about New Year's Eve is coming. We know that. So why don't we talked about portion control, why don't we think about maybe getting smaller bottles of things that we're going to be consuming? Let's count how many drinks we're having. Let's be real with ourselves. And then let's think about how we're going to drink those. I just love drinking out of fun containers. Half of the fun of the party is the act of being social. You can walk around with this opaque glass and nobody knows if you're pounding or if you're sipping.
Yeah.
So just a little mindfulness.
Yeah, I think the little bottles might be a key for a lot of people. Just again, the hardest thing is going to be the portion control and not overdoing it on New Year's Eve, because after you get to a certain point, people lose track of what they're doing.
Yes.
But if you have the little bottles, sure, they're going to cost more. You know that, but is it worth it to have the cost up front, or do you want to pay on the backside?
Exactly.
One thing I've always noticed too, when you mix different types of alcohol in an evening, beers, wines, whiskeys, vodkas, or if you're mixing different kinds of beers, that really can get you the next morning too, when you start going to different different kinds in an evening.
And obviously, folks, it does go without saying, if you plan on indulging in any way like this at all, give your keys to someone who is not. Do not even take a chance. If you're going to indulge at all, find somebody else to give you a lift home, or just stay wherever you are. We're talking about the different things you can do where you can stay at the location.
And that's a great idea with that glass. I have a friend who's a gin and tonic drinker, and throughout the night, a lot of times you think he's always got a glass of gin and tonic. But you don't know that sometimes he's just got a glass of tonic or just a glass of soda water. No one knows, and by the end of the night, he's always doing a lot better than everybody else.
Right, the social pressure for some folks is gone.
The social
James,
pressure.
you make me think of my favorite expression, and that is, I've never gotten up the next day and said, damn, I should have had one more drink.
That's true.
It's just that you don't do that.
Yep.
All right. Well, Sheree Clark, if people want to follow along with this and get some other tips of how to dress as snazzy as you are right now and get things like that, or anything that we talked about here, I'm sure they can follow you online.
They can do that at fork-road.com, or they could drop me an email at info@fork-road.com and let me know how you did the day after.
There you go. Party hardy, Garth. Okay. Happy New Year. We will be right back. You're watching CW Iowa Live in West Des Moines.